Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first Marketing Done Smart webinar event of 2021, titled How to Develop Your Content Marketing Strategy for 2021. My name is Vlad, and tonight we have a very special guest, social media marketing expert Pauline Kwasniak. Before we start, I would just like to let everyone know that this event is being recorded, and you will have the access to this recording in the coming days. It will be posted on our social media. As this is our only third event in the series, I would like to briefly introduce you to what exactly the Marketing Done Smart webinar series is envisioned to become in the near future. It's been highly successful so far and very popular. And as part of the Southeast Marketing Forum initiative, Marketing Done Smart aims to become an educational and support-focused platform where startups, micro businesses, and even SMEs can learn about the latest developments in the field of marketing and gain some valuable insights which can be applied to their business. We're planning to hold webinar events on a monthly basis and have a variety of speakers from a wide range of industries. Our next event is planned to be held in March. So please keep an eye out on our social media and Eventbrite, and also feel free to sign up to our to our newsletter on smf.ie. Today's event will provide us insights on how to develop our content marketing strategy for social media and figure out our voice online, as well as the other important factors such as the best practice, common mistakes, and the importance of planning. All of which contribute to the establishment of a successful content marketing strategy. There will be a Q&A at the end, so please feel free to stay after the presentation to ask any questions. You can type your questions in the chat box during the presentation, and I will try to address them as best as possible with Pauline at the end. Tonight's event, just to mention, is hosted by RIKON. Who provide business support in the fields of business modeling, customer interface, process optimization, and technical optimization. Our services are available through the Innovation Voucher Fund, which provide companies with a €5,000 worth of research funding. Details on how you can apply for funding and what RIKON can do for your business will be provided to all of you by email following this event next week. So I will send you all emails and you can get to know more about the scheme. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our speaker for tonight. I'm very excited, social media marketing expert Pauline Kwasniak, who has extensive experience in the industry. She has worked in marketing roles in UK, Ireland, and Europe. And so Pauline, you have the floor. Take it away. I will just stop sharing in just 1 second.
Thank you so much, everyone. It is such a, no problem. Thank you so much again. I just wanted to say warm hello to everybody for joining me on a Thursday evening. I hope that I can provide a lot of value for you. My presentation is a little bit different. I want it to be a little bit more fun, but certainly packed with a lot of valuable information. Again, if you have any questions, please keep them till the end, and there will be definitely a time to address them. And yeah, thank you so much for your trust and for your time. So I will share my screen now with you. There we go. And let's begin. Okay. And Vlad, I'll just ask you if you can confirm you can see and hear me okay? Yeah, perfect. All right, everyone. So let's begin. So content strategy for your business. Vlad introduced me. I'm a B2B marketeer and business advisor. I also started Female Event Planners community online. So that's my community where I actually produce content, where I grow the community. I'm a B2B influencer as well in a business travel industry. And I also founded startups and advised in various different projects. This is the community that I told you about. I started this community during the coronavirus pandemic as a side business. So as you can see, we've grown it on Instagram with our content to quite a few followers. This is only for females, for event planners from all over Europe. So The number of followers here is quite good. We're organizing different events, but I just wanted to show you that, this is a community where I actually produce content for myself, I suppose. And here is history for the past 10 years. You see this awkward picture of me is because I used to be a model represented by an agency in Dublin. And this is really the first time when I got involved in marketing, in actually understanding about photography and what it means to spend 1 week choosing one picture from a set of 600 in order to sell a swimming costume or a dress, for example, right? I also did a lot of internship and sales and marketing. And then when I graduated with a bachelor's degree in European Studies and Business, my first marketing job was around CRM and the database. What I learned from that is that the most important marketing tool your business can ever have is your database. Now, of course, we're going to be talking about social media and producing your content, but your database is the most important tool. It's much harder to attract new customers than to keep the existing ones. And then after a few years, I started my own consultancy agency. We marketed and promoted destinations, travel destinations, hotels. We did a lot of venue sourcing, worked all over Europe. And also that led me to a creation of my own startup, a platform where I raised funding. And then that gave me the knowledge, I suppose, to advise other businesses in terms of sales and marketing and strategy. These are just a few photos, just briefly to show you, that I know what I'm talking about, because I do want to provide a lot of value for you. Here, Turnsey was our platform, which unfortunately we had to close down due to coronavirus. People weren't really booking any venues anymore. But that landed me on 30 Under 30 in Ireland, Irish Young Entrepreneur, and DRC invested in our business. And all of that experience, working in marketing led me to actually become a trainer. And that's why I'm here in front of you tonight. And I've done trainings for local enterprise office, online, offline. Here on the left, you can see a training in London. So, from experience, I became a trainer. But I also worked with real big influencers of 300,000 audience, 400,000 audience as an advisor to growing their business and expanding their reach. This is really when I got to learn the power of content. So tonight, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you exactly the secrets and the strategies that influencers are using to grow their audience, to make a lot of money, and what you can do and how you can apply those learnings for your own business. Not for your own personal brand, again, for your business, which is really, really important. So let's begin. Most companies waste a lot of money on marketing, yet they see no return of investment. And that's a problem, because marketing can bring a lot of return of investment if done right. Now, what did I know about content years ago when I was starting in business, or even 5 years ago when I was becoming the social media expert? Well, I knew that the content has to provide value. I always knew that. I also understood that Jesus started with 12 followers. Now, if you think about it, 12 followers and the impact that they made all over the world, how the religion grew, this was the power of social interaction. And actually in marketing, we sometimes called marketeers evangelists. Guy Kawasaki is a chief evangelist to Canva before he was a chief evangelist of Apple, spreading the news, spreading the idea. So we can actually learn a lot from Jesus and his 12 followers and everything, how the Christianity went. But I also read a really good book that I will recommend to all of you. Some of you might know Gary Vaynerchuk. He's a social media expert in the United States, but he wrote this book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. So basically, the most important concept in the book is that if you really want to build an audience and a good content strategy, keep giving value to the people, hook them up, and then only then you can ask them for a sale or to do something, or to buy your t-shirt, or to read your book. So this is a really, really good book about content, okay? This is basically what I knew about content. Now, what did I really know about influencers? I thought that influencers are celebrities, rich models with Louis Vuitton bags, or actors who were famous and landed good branding deals. And if you think about it, like years ago, before even social media, we already had influencers. Look at Tiger Woods, famous golfer, young people following him. Nike straight away went in there, made a deal with him, and then he was an ambassador of Nike. That's exactly what influencing is all about. But I thought that in order to be a social media influencer, you had to be rich and famous. And even back a few years ago, when I was in my modeling agency in Dublin, there was a lot of models who were starting to become influencers. I never went that way because I thought, I don't want to be going around and showing my Louis Vuitton bags and stuff like that. But that's exactly what I thought influencers are, what they're not. And you're going to see that in a moment. Just very, very briefly, really funny or easy or silly mistakes that I made when I started my own agency, when I started my own business, when it comes to content strategy. These are the 4 major mistakes that I made. And then the mistakes that I see a lot of my clients, from consultants to startups to larger businesses, making, okay? First of all, is not building a community or audience. That's key. That's what you want to do with your content strategy. You want to build a community or an audience of active listeners, of engaged listeners that will then do something for you in the future. But first, you have to do something for them. And even if people are different, they want to be different together. It's all about the community. It's all about the tribe. I didn't have a strategy. I was just posting randomly. If I went for an event, or I was somewhere, or I won an award, I was just like, okay, let's put that on Instagram. Let's put that on LinkedIn. I had no niche. So I knew I was a travel professional / marketing professional, okay? But I didn't have a niche. Now, if you look at female event planners community, the page that I'm growing at the moment, this is a very clear niche. It's females in events planning profession. I could even go, more niche, but I just wanted to illustrate to you that before I had no niche. And travel industry or coaching industry, or I don't know, a beauty industry, that's not really a niche, okay? It's a generalization. And then my content was boring and it was a bad quality. So I took a couple of pictures of me working or meeting clients. There was no strategy behind it. The content was boring and it was purely produced, I suppose. So these were the mistakes that I made. And the most important mistake that I made, that a lot of businesses are making, is that they do not have a plan to include content strategy in your marketing sales funnel. Do you put it at the beginning of the funnel, or to retarget people, or do you put it towards the end of the funnel? Do you even have a sales funnel for digital? How do you use the content in there? Because the content cannot just be randomly produced and shared. It has to be part of a strategy of the sales funnel. So that's one of the biggest mistakes I made. This is an example of a sales funnel for digital done by a company called Tribe 47. Now, this is an agency specializing in building these sales funnels for digital businesses. So if you had a platform or e-commerce, they built this funnel for you. And as you can see here, for example, you can use content to land the traffic, cold traffic, or you could use a blog post to warm them up a little bit. You can use the content to retarget people. You can use content here for sales. So what content, where does it feature in your sales funnel? That's really, really important. And later on, we're going to go back to that, okay? Now, not every business wants to do content marketing for sales. I've worked with a couple of larger businesses, and their sales was all about relationship building and who was buying from them, usually older CEOs that wouldn't really be on Instagram. But these businesses still wanted to build a good PR or awareness or a tribe. They wanted people to know about them so that when they call someone or they go for an international event, if they mention their name, people will be like, oh yeah, we know about you. We saw you somewhere. So this is also important to remember. A lot of brands, or especially bigger brands, it's not about pushing sales or using content for pushing sales. Oftentimes it's to build the PR and the awareness. And actually a lot of small businesses forget about this step as well. And that's key. Ideally, you should have both the content, sales funnel, but also building an awareness about your business. What is the audience looking for when they go online? Please, please, please put this idea in your head right now. It's going to solve a lot of problems for you. People don't go online to buy a product. They don't go on Instagram with this notion in their head, oh, I want to buy a lipstick. They are looking for inspiration, fun, or entertainment. They want to see a funny picture of a cat. They go online for education and tips, how to produce a video, how to write a good blog post. They also go to read about news. That used to be Twitter was a really, really good platform for that. But actually, Instagram is now becoming a news platform as well. And they also go online to join a tribe and to feel a sense of belonging. And that's why exactly we have the LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups. But they do not ever go online on social media, especially with a mindset that I want to buy something. And my question to business owners is, why do you keep selling and showing products and shoving products in front of people when people don't go online to buy it, And influencers understand that. They really, really do. They are online or they create their content to inspire people, to educate people, to, provide fun and entertainment. And even if they're fashion influencers, you might think, sure, that's silly, what value do they bring? But there's a lot of people who do want to see the latest style or the latest lipstick. There is a value in there. So that's exactly what influencers have figured out, that people come online in order to be inspired or entertained or learn something or have a sense of belonging. And if there is one thing I've learned from influencing people myself, but also working with those large influencers, is that they are actually marketing professionals of the highest level, because they plan the content, they write the script for video, they write captions as well, they produce the content, they have good equipment and the lights, they star in the content themselves, so they're models as well, or talents as we call them in the modeling industry world. They share the content and they also measure and read the analytics. Now, if you think about it, that's what a marketing agency used to do. Like if you watched Mad Men series, that's exactly what they used to do years ago. They had a client, they had a brand, they planned, they wrote, they produced. Influencers are not just talent anymore or models that the brand used to come over to a modeling agency and hire a model and go and do a marketing photo shoot. No, they're everything. Every step here, the planning, the writing of the script, producing, starring, measuring, that's what influencers do. And in my personal view, they are great marketeers and we can learn a lot from them. But what I was thinking at the beginning of this journey, and what a lot of businesses feel or think, is that when it comes to marketing, this is what your business does. You strategize, you think about target persona and SEO, and like it's so sophisticated. And when you look at influencer, they only go and take a picture and post online. But that's not the case. In fact, they are sophisticated business people. Some of them, a little bit more stylish if it's a fashion influencer. But you are a business professional, and so are they. They have people later, when they grow, they have a lot of people who work with them, from sales to video recorders. As they grow, they have a team, but they are a savvy business people, marketing business people. Okay. So, we've been talking about it for a while, but let's bring this back to an example and what you can learn from them and how you can apply that to your own business. Let's take this girl, for example. She loves travel. She loves backpacking, actually, not luxury travel, backpacking. So she decided to build content, start promoting online, become an influencer. Her, I suppose, genre of content would be travel influencer, but that's a little bit too general. There's people who love luxury. There's people who are into couple or parenting, traveling with kids. What's her niche online? And you do have to have a niche with your content. I'll say it time and time again, you have to have a niche with your content. Well, her niche is that she's a female solo traveler backpacking from UK. That's her niche. So travel is not good enough. This is her niche. And when it comes to branding, if you were to brand her, she again is a backpacker. So it's not a luxury travel. It's backpacking, trying to save a buck, cool experiences, stuff like that. Now let's work on her audience. This is what she's thinking. My target audience, even though she's traveling all over the world, are young women based in Britain. And this is key. And this is the same for your business. When you promote your content online, you have to know who is this content for. It's not for people all over the world, because then you can't do any affiliate marketing. You can't really retarget people. And the same for her. If she's going to get a branding deal, she's going to get a branding deal from a company based in Britain, because she's a British influencer traveling all over the world, okay? And the backpacking here, that's the initiator for her. So straight away, she's not going to be working with Marriott 5-star. If we look at the right-hand side here are some brands who can work with her, like Airbnb could approach her for doing a video for them. Or TripAdvisor, she could write a couple of blog posts. But when it comes to fashion, again, she would be outdoors a little bit, or a lot, sorry. She can work with Regatta Outdoors because the brand suits her image and her branding. Regatta Outdoors, a great company producing great quality clothing for outdoors. She's backpacking, it suits her. So you see, this is a really, really tight, important strategy. She has her target audience, she has her branding done, her niche, her content figured out, and then that ties into deals that she could do and affiliate marketing that she could do, tied very, very closely. Here are a few secrets that she knows that your business does not, but you should. Her content reflects her niche and a true, clear passion. If she didn't like backpacking, if she really didn't have passion for it, do you think she would keep traveling? No, she wouldn't. If she preferred luxury holidays, she wouldn't really have time backpacking and pretending like she loves it. And the same for your business. If you have a beauty salon where you really enjoy doing extensions and not coloring hair as much, concentrate your content on that niche. You'll have a lot of content already. But what I'm saying is that it usually for influencers, it really reflects a clear passion that they have. She has a very clear strategy and content calendar. I can guarantee you that. And we're going to talk about content calendar later on as well. But it's basically a plan for a few months in advance. She knows the countries that she's traveling to. She knows what she's going to be doing there, when she's going to be posting. She knows that on Saturdays, her YouTube video is going to go up. She knows that on Tuesday, she's going to go live on Instagram in the evening for her followers. She has a plan. She has a content calendar. Most businesses do not. And this is the biggest lesson, really, if you think about it, when it comes to content creation for small, for big business, for personal brands, there needs to be a strategy and the calendar. She's also interacting and building community. Again, the community, her audience. Think of Instagram. If you know Instagram stories, there are a couple of stickers in Instagram stories that allow you to ask a question to your audience. or allow you to do a quiz. Why do you think they introduced that? Because Instagram knows that in order to keep your following, you need to interact with them. That's exactly, it's an interaction tool. So you need to be DMing people, responding to comments. There's a lot of social media algorithm tricks, but believe me when I say this, on Instagram, respond to every single comment in the first hour of you posting. That's gonna raise your reach. But a lot of social media platforms reward you from being an engaged and interactive page. It's the same on LinkedIn now. So interacting and building your community, not just sharing posts, not talking to people, you know. Each post is for the audience benefit. And you as a business, when you post something online, please ask yourself, if I was to see that on LinkedIn today or on Instagram, what will I find valuable? Will I find this valuable? Like if you share a picture of you winning an award, is it really valuable to your audience to know that? Well, unless you know you're doing a case study. But if you share the picture of an award and maybe something that you learned from that event or a recommendation, that's already more valuable. And of course, you know, if she's sharing, this influencer in this example, if she's sharing tricks and tips how to save money on travel, or she's sharing a beautiful backpack or a product review, this is all valuable. Even if she shared a funny video with 5 funny cats that she met on her travels, that's still valuable because it provides entertainment. But, okay, at the same time, she has to react to trends. And when I was working with influencers, I was actually helping to manage one of the influencers. I got a task to research trends that are happening online at the moment. And I had to produce a list with all the trends that are, again, happening at the moment. Like, remember a few days ago when Joe Biden was becoming a president, and you had this funny meme with Bernie Sanders and the gloves and how he was sitting on the chair. That was a trend that was immediately taken by all the influencers, all the travel agencies. All of a sudden, you saw his picture all over the world. And the same in the summertime. We have our influencer. She planned to go to Malaysia for the summer, but coronavirus pandemic. During the summer, remember the trend in a staycation? Yeah. So she immediately took this trend on, switched her travel direction, stayed in Britain and traveled all over Britain while posting about it and doing the videos, because that was the trend. So even though she had her content calendar and the plan and the strategy, she quickly reacted to this trend and produced content. And I cannot stress this enough, how important this is, because that opens your content to new audiences who are not exactly following you, but they're into that trend and they want to see what's happening within that trend. This is a reach strategy that influencers do all the time. They are on top of this, I'm telling you, on YouTube, everywhere, on top of this. And so business, and so should your business. And actually, staycation was a huge opportunity for restaurants in Ireland, for hotels. If people really use this trend and produce the right content, it was a huge opportunity to make a lot of money for people back then. And the last thing that influencers know that maybe your business doesn't is producing quality content, quality, and asking audience. So there's this trend with influencers that sometimes they would let their audience decide. So we have our travel influencer here, and she would let her audience decide. She would give them a few options. Where should she travel next to? And, you know, her audience would be voting. Let's go to China. Let's go to Germany, for example. And it's because they're constantly asking the audience, what do you want to see? Do you want to see more reels? Or do you want to see more videos? Do you want me live on Instagram? What do you want me to do? What should I do with my content? And this is another interactive thing, but it's also good for feedback. If you don't know what post, let's say you have 100 followers, you have a business, they're engaged followers, they're your clients, ask them, you know, like me, I'm a marketing person. I promote marketing. I constantly ask my audience on female event planners, what are the areas of marketing that you want to learn about? They're absolutely sick of hearing about virtual events. They have enough, but they want to learn more about building a personal platform on Instagram, for example. And that's the content then that I produce. I keep asking them. And you may ask, so how those influencers make money? It's all about branding. If you have your content, you have your audience figured out, it's all about the branding. Think about it as if it's like affiliate marketing. You have your brand very, very strong. Starbucks has their brand very, very strong. If they're aligned, you can work with each other. And here, just a few tips of how influencers actually grow and how it really works. And if you think of this as a few steps, think about your business. You know, the influencers are picking a clear niche and a clear target audience. That's what you need to do as a business as well. No matter what type of business you are in, clear niche, solo female, backpacking, clear niche, clear target audience. Now, then you're going to attract that audience, and they know exactly what to expect from your audience, from your content. They know exactly that if they land on this page, this is the content they're gonna get. That's why the niche is so important. They are consistent and they are reliable with their content because they appreciate your time. Think about it as watching your favorite TV show, Grey's Anatomy. How would you feel if you watched it on RTE every Monday for a month and then they're gone for 2 months? Like that's, you know, you wouldn't really be into that show. And that's exactly the type of rationale you should adopt when it comes to content strategy. You have to be reliable and consistent and provide that content on consistent basis to appreciate the time of your audience. And the needs of your audience are aligned with your content. This is really, really important. This is not about showing products all the time. This is the needs of your audience. If they have a need to be entertained, if they have a need for some specific information, that's aligned with your content. Then, you know, influencers get agency represented. They're treated as talent. And they get to do deals with brands. The brand would reach their talent manager and they would say, we want to work with Pauline, travel influencer, for this campaign. We're launching a new product. Can we do it together? They will give you a couple of tips. The contract will be signed. So it's on that sort of basis. But why do people come to their content is because they expect certain quality of advice, for example, right? And they also, these influencers, measure the analytics, know about the trend, and know about the change in algorithm. So a few months ago, when Instagram Reels, every single influencer went and started to produce Reels. Not necessarily that they had a lot of free time or they wanted to do even more content, but because when a platform, a social media platform, is introducing a new feature, they actually want to promote this feature. So people who make content with that new feature will get more audience or will get more promotion from the platform. So suddenly, Reels was getting more reach than posting a static picture. And influencers know that because they read all the time about the algorithm and they read all the time about the new features of Instagram, of YouTube. They really, really know this. And this is changing all the time. I was reading today that Instagram was actually going to introduce a side scroll for stories. Right now, you can't really scroll to the side, but now they want to mimic TikTok and they're going to do it in the future. So, you know, it's all the news and all the things that influencers read about, and they're always on top of this. And then the last thing that is really important, they build the trust from the audience. And if you think about it, why are they called influencers? It's because you as an audience trust them. You look at their content and you feel a connection to them as if you feel connection with your sister or your best friend. So naturally, if I will tell you to buy this lipstick because it's great, People trust the influencers. It's not selling. It's not pushing people. It's okay. Well, she advised me that this lipstick is amazing. I trust her. I will buy it. And then that results in sales, either for brands or for influencers on at this, right? If you have a business and you want to sell a product, wouldn't it be lovely to build the audience, to provide a lot of value with the content, to do a lot of like advising and know about the trends and analytics and build that trust for your audience so that when you have a new product or new service launching, they'll buy from you because they trust you. That's exactly what we need to do in terms of content for businesses. It's all about the strong and very, very clear brand, you know, and that you're going to do it. You're going to do it in time, you know, it takes a lot of time. Later on, you can do like content series. As your brand is growing, you might choose a specific color, you might choose a specific style, you know, and then that also looks into your content aesthetic. So your feed, my feed, for example, for female event planners, it's blue. I'm wearing a blue dress. It's all about that color because I want people to associate my page with that color. And the book that I showed you at the very, very beginning from Gary Vaynerchuk, Jab, 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 Right Hook, it's basically giving so much content for people that in the future, you can ask them for action. You can ask them to save, to share, to subscribe, to buy a product from you. So you give and you give and you give, and you earn yourself a right to ask them for an action. Let's look at your business now, how that sort of refers to your business, okay? And don't worry, because I made a lot of these mistakes myself. You looked at the successful influencer, their strategy. Now your business has no strategy for content and no defined niche. And being a travel agency or being a coach or being a marketeer is not enough. You don't have a clear defined niche and you don't have a strategy. You're constantly selling with your content. You're constantly showing cars because you own a car shop and you sell cars, and you constantly show cars on Instagram. This car is great and this car is great. It's constantly selling with content. You're posting randomly. There's no reason for your post. There's no schedule. There's no calendar. It's like, I feel today's Wednesday and I was walking, so I'll just, you know, take a picture and I share it. That's it. You add no value to your audience, no value whatsoever, or a little value, but it could be better, you know, and you just post for the sake of posting because you should, and you heard somewhere that you should do it because it's social media, but there's no value there. You don't build a community. You're not concentrating on building a community with your audience. So it's you preaching at them constantly instead of trying to create a two-way conversation, instead of trying to reply to them and talk to them and involve them in your content, which is crucial. You have bad quality posts, pictures, videos, blog posts. If you look at Neil Patel, he's a guru in terms of marketing. His blog posts are so rich and deep, and they actually go every few months and they keep adding new stuff to if he wrote a blog post about Instagram, you know, 1 year ago we didn't have reels, now we have reels. There's so many things that are happening. They constantly keep updating those blog posts. It's a quality blog post. If you want to read about marketing and you know you're going to land on Neil Patel's blog post, it's like, you know, it's going to be so much quality for you. And then you have a business and you're producing this blog post of like 1,000 words because you know that you have to, but it's not that good. That's what I'm talking about, quality. And sometimes it's better to do less posting, but with big quality rather than just keep posting and the quality is really, really bad. And another mistake that is really, really important for businesses is that your content is not a part of any sales funnel. It's just random. You're not doing that in order to attract the leads or to push them down the sales funnel or to retarget them. And again, in a moment, we're going to look at the sales funnel again. You're not building a brand online. People come to your social media pages and they don't really know what you're about. There's nothing, and again, it's all of that, right? Your logo, how you talk to people, the colors that you're using, the camera filters. Even there's certain influencers who would always use the same filter, for example, or they would always have their feed kept really, really white or very dark, for example. That's all part of the branding. There are influencers right now that I'm following that when I see their content appearing on Instagram, I can tell you straight away who posted that picture, even without looking at it, because I know I already assumed, okay, this color that's what she's using. I know her posts are blue and that, okay? And again, you don't have any trust from people because your page is all about selling. People are not interested. You don't have the trust. You didn't build the trust. You didn't earn their trust. So your content brings you no sales. These are the mistakes that I made, that so many businesses are making these days. But the influencers aren't, okay? And if you think content, one thing that you could do right now after this webinar, the thing that you could do tomorrow is take a piece of paper and write the events and the opportunities which are happening throughout the year, which you could match with your business. What do I mean by that? Let's take the floral shop, florist. You could see very, very clearly 3 of the biggest events that are happening in the calendar that they're going to sell a lot of flowers that, you know, they could produce content around is the Valentine's, the Mother's Day, and Christmas. But they could be our events as well, different events, right, throughout the year. But take a piece of paper and write opportunities throughout the year and the different events that you know are important for your particular business that you could use. If you are a very B2B type of business, like me, marketing, it could be a big marketing conference coming up. It could be a sales call. Right now, it's, of course, it's virtual, but you know what I mean. If you were into food or yoga, you had this great festival, a Taste of Dublin. So these would be the events and the opportunities for marketing that would be aligned with your business throughout the year. But, and I want to highlight that, keep an eye on the trends that are taking place online right now. And you've probably heard of Bridgerton Netflix show. So a lot of my contacts in the UK that are in the floristry business got a lot of business from actually recreating arrangements and delivering them to people's houses because of Bridgerton and the use of flowers. And they would design their creations in line with that style, you know, very London high society back in those days. So if you actually took this trend and did a video, how to dress up your house in the style of Bridgerton, it's a huge opportunity for you because there'll be so many people interested in that. And you're taking all the money that Netflix has spent on promotion of this of the series and all the buzz that people created for you, and you sort of sliding in there with your business, okay? Now, another example that I want to give you, a makeup show. You have a makeup show, a pharmacy with a lot of makeup. Okay, you know exactly the most important events that are happening throughout the year where you can make a lot of sales, like dips, Mother's Day, again, different events. But keep an eye on the trend. And there was this trend, and if you have daughters, maybe young daughters, sisters, you can attest to that. There was a trend happening online called heavy foundation trend. It was basically influencers and a lot of people putting in a lot of foundation on their face and doing a makeup with that heavy foundation trend. It's actually still a new trend. It's quite visible on Instagram. And it's right. If you had an online beauty shop or a pharmacy, all you could do is offer people 20% off because it is a heavy foundation trend. So you would need a lot of foundation. You could do a video, talk about it, and give them 20% off at the end of it because you know that they're going to use a lot of foundation for that trend. Boom. You're in this trend. You're cool. You're current. You're providing value. You're giving them 20% off. Now, if you just had a promotion about 20% off because you wanted to sell some foundation, it would probably fall on flat ears. But if you did something within the trend and they used the trend in order to sell your foundation, we can all agree it's a completely different story. So think about the events that are happening throughout the year. We usually do it when we plan a marketing strategy for a year. But think about the events and the things that align with your business that you could, do content around. That would be really valuable. But keep an eye on trends, and even a quick a quick Google trend. If you're not spending that much time online, it's really as simple as Googling latest social media trends in coaching industry. It's really, really important to keep an eye on. Okay. Once you have those few events figured out, this is a screenshot of a content calendar. This is usually what it looks like. You could do it on Canva. Canva actually has their own content calendar now. There's a lot of apps online. You could do it on Trello. But actually, you could do it yourself on a simple sheet of paper or Excel document. You literally just divide your week into 7 days and then into months and in the year. And you sort of plan, Monday, we're going to do a holiday campaign. On Tuesday, we're going to do a new product launch post. Here, again, a holiday campaign. On Thursday, we're going to share a blog post. So it's really, really important to have a calendar like that figured out. And from me working with those influencers, that's exactly what we did. We knew 3 weeks at least in advance what we're going to post. And we had a series figured out. Like on Wednesday, you always expected this. On Saturday, there was always a YouTube video going out. And then again, you adjust that content calendar with trends. And people always ask me, oh, that's a lot of bother. It's actually not, because if you are a business owner and you're busy with clients and you have to upskill and read this and read that, and you have this content calendar figured out, it's like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need to worry about it. I have that content planned, it's perfect. And then taking that content calendar, you're probably asking yourself, I don't have time to produce that content. I'm working in marketing and I have to sell and I'm doing this and I'm dealing with people in HR. You can see me. This is actually me recording certain content in Boxworks and Waterford. I recorded so much content today, changing outfits, later changing sceneries as well. But I did all of that in one day. So most influencers would put their makeup on, dress up, and they would hire a hotel, let's say, and do various pieces of content in that one day. And that's exactly what I'm saying that the businesses should be doing as well. Of course, there'll be things happening in your business on a daily basis, which you can share in stories. But if you have a content plan, if you're producing a blog post every, let's say, Wednesday, you can just take 1 day off or 2 days off and write your content for a month and then plan it. If you are a floral shop, take 1 day, shot a lot of different flowers, do videos, you're concentrating, you're giving the time to that day, and then you share it throughout 2 months' time. The amount of times we did content with influencers, we went to a hotel and we shot 5 different campaigns in 5 different rooms with 5 different outfits from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Went to a spa to do a spa piece, went to a restaurant to do a morning breakfast. And then people are thinking, well, she was in this hotel on Monday having a breakfast. Next month, she's back again doing a massage. No, everything was shot in 1 day. And this is really a cool tip, because if you are a busy business owner, dedicate 1 day to write your content, organize your content, and then plan it with the content calendar. Now, there's a lot of blog posts and a lot of advice when you should be posting on social media. I found a couple of advice here. There's so many, you can Google it. But what you're going to know, how you're going to know, it's just looking at analytics. What are the best times that your audience is, watching your content? And for me, because I share my content with female event planners, it's usually in the evenings. YouTube is just known that the best times are Saturday, Sunday. You know, that's just a fact, and I can attest to that. Here you can see the best time is Saturday, Sunday, Wednesday, for Instagram. Opinion can also attest to that. I get the best reach on Instagram on Wednesday. But, you know, every business is different. Test a little bit, see when your business is online, when your clients are online. But when it comes to that content calendar that I told you about, it's also very, very true with the timing. You know, there might be timings when your audience is just online and more people are going to see your content and you don't spend a lot of money on that. And that's just the fact. You know, we're doing this webinar at 7 p.m. We're not doing this webinar at 12 because we were at work. So that's what I'm saying. Look at the timings, read about it, but test and learn and fail and see when your audience is online. And again, people don't come to social media with the mood to shop. And that's the same for B2B businesses and B2C businesses. They go online to scroll through Instagram and find a cool idea or get inspired or laugh at something, you know, see a meme, be entertained. That's why they go online. They're not going there to buy a lipstick from you, okay? And that's the same when they go and read your blog post. That's the same when they go to see your webinar. You know, you came here to learn something. You're not here to buy something from me. If I was just talking about, I can do this for you and I can do this for you, you'd be really, really bored. So we have to remember that. We have to give ideas, inspire, entertain. And then when they feel inspired, they might buy something from you because they didn't know that if you don't, you know, wash your makeup off at night, you can stay younger for longer. And okay, well, she's talking about this cool product. I didn't want to buy it, but now I feel inspired. I learned something. I might actually follow the link and buy it. And that's exactly how it works. Key. Now, not to bore you, this is the last part of our training, but it's so important. And this is where the money is. We're talking about conversions here and cost per acquisition and lifetime value of the customer. Where and how do you use content in terms of your sales conversion funnel? And a lot of people 10, 15 years ago would just bring traffic to a sales page straight away. And that was grand because back then, that's exactly how it worked. We weren't that busy online. We went in, we bought something. But now, that's not the case anymore. So you need to use content very, very early in your sales funnel in order to provide something of value and interest people to tune in and get more and more and more, and then to sell something. And how does it look? So your landing page value, you can give them a mini guide or something small, like a taste of the content. And on the same page, as they read it, you might say something like, "Oh, want to find out more? Sign up." Or download this book, at which point they actually give you their email address, okay? And only then, at the end of it, you can end up actually selling something to them or cross-selling, which is a whole, you know, that's a whole different idea. Like at the end of the tunnel, when they actually make a sale, you can actually show them extra products that they should make while they're buying a lipstick. They should always also buy a mascara and they should also buy a foundation. But that's another different part of maximizing your sale. We're talking about actually reaching them with your content, interesting them with your content, and then selling something at the end, okay? And this is the sales conversion funnel that I was talking about. This is by Tribe 47, which is a consultancy business, which I think they're the best people on the market when it comes to designing sales funnels. They work with digital businesses. But you see, they're talking about using that content in order to interest the customer and warm him up. And I just wanted to show you like the amount of work that goes into planning your sales funnel and where the content should be and what you should do with it. It's not just a random posting. It takes a lot of work. And I'll give you a very, very real example of what this content funnel and sales funnel could look like for your own business. And obviously there's a lot of tools online that you could use, and where you could build landing pages and then send automated emails. But let's just look at that very, very quickly, okay? You have your post per click, your cold traffic that comes from Facebook and Google or some of your social media posts. Obviously, you bought the ad, and now you have people here at the beginning of the funnel. They start as a cold lead. You land them on your page, but it's not a sales page. It's a content page. On this amazing page, you give them a mini guide. Change this one thing and become a pro seller. Okay, obviously we're targeting salespeople. We targeted them with an ad on Facebook. We paid for the ad, and now they landed on our page. We're not telling them buy a 50 minutes consultation with us. At this point in the sales funnel, we produce this amazing content here. We're giving them a mini guide, and they read it because it's there on the landing page, and they keep scrolling. This is actually pretty good. Wow, I like it, okay? And then a button pops up, or just a few words at the end. Did you like this? Do you want more? Do you want to find out more? Okay, download our mini book for free. And obviously, you just read this mini guide. You like this, you did learn about this one thing that will help you change how you sell. And now you're presented with this book that you can download, or online book. And you're thinking to yourself, well, that was really, really valuable. I'll better download this book. I'll learn more, okay? You see how content here made you want to leave the email address here. You're not asking people to leave their email addresses straight away. You're giving them the content. Now, people left their email address, so you send them a thank you email. And in the thank you email, you can say something like, thanks very much for buying or for downloading the ebook. We would like to invite you for our exclusive webinar for sales professionals. Sign up. And you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, the mini book was awesome. The tips and advice was awesome. Wow, like a 40 minutes exclusive webinar with these guys. I'm definitely doing that. So you go and you participate in the webinar. And at the end of the webinar, they offering you a 20 minutes free consultancy call only for people who participated in the webinar. So fear of missing out and exclusivity, everything is here, okay? And here you had the content. Again, let's start from the beginning. You had this awesome content with the guide, then you had to produce the mini book, then you had to produce a really, really good webinar. And only now you can ask them to do something for you. They're booking the 20 minutes consultancy with you. They already trust you. The content is awesome. And they end up buying your consultancy. And then you upsell and upsell and upsell. So this is the conversion funnel. This is the sales conversion funnel, how you use content to sell. And of course, as I told you, let's go back very, very quickly here. There's a lot of steps here where you can retarget people with different content and but I just want you to have this idea of understanding how content works. You're not just doing this blog post. You could use it in a sales funnel, such as what we did here. And one of the, this is really the last thing that I want to share with you is the authenticity part. And being authentic to your values and the values of your audience. This is also a lot about social corporate responsibility and who you are and what you represent as a business. You need to stay authentic. And again, if we had an influencer who was very eco and vegan, she would be promoting or doing collaborations with ecological company, might say, I don't want to work with this company because they test on animals. So that's really, really important on social media and with content. And even you as a business, if you want to be seen online, make sure you have a set of values that you can show, because there's going to be a lot of people who follow the same values, and they want to see themselves associated with you and following your content. And I don't want to go into politics, but I'll just give you a very, very simple example with Donald Trump. Some people really, really like him. Some people really, really hate him. But there was an influencer in the United States making a lot of money, and she supported him. She supported the event at Capitol. She thought that the election was stolen from him. And she didn't cause any violence. She just put a picture with his t-shirt on, and she said that she's supporting him. There was instantly deals that she lost. And why is that? Because the brands did not associate themselves with the values that she was representing. Now we can talk about it. Is it wrong? Is it right? Is it like censorship, freedom of speech, whatever? But I really, really want to show you that this works. There was another influencer from UK, and she traveled to Dubai a week ago, and she was posting a lot of content, and people really, really got upset at her, because influencing and traveling is not an essential service. And there was a lot of people from NHS saying, why are you in Dubai? You're not inspiring anybody. You're making people feel jealous. You're making people feel like shit. Sorry, but it's true. And you claiming here that you're influencing people. And again, she lost a lot of deals. So if there are things that you can support, or clear qualities that you have as a business, share them, but stick to them. Don't just start supporting something or charities or causes just because you want to get a little bit of exposure, because that can really lead you down a very bad path. So be authentic. If you honestly, and I worked with a business, and we did a lot of social media marketing for them. And that business had children with autism. So as a business, they were supporting SIM charity in Dublin. They've sponsored them with a car, and we did a lot of social promotion around it. But that's what I'm saying. They were really, really authentic. They didn't do it for the purpose of just promoting. This was something that their staff felt very, very close with, and this is exactly what they wanted to do as a business. Okay, be authentic. People will follow you. People will associate with you. So, that's it. I hope, you got some value from it. If you ever want, send me a message, please connect to me via LinkedIn. That's my favorite platform. I always respond to DMs over there. So my name is Pauline Kwasniak. And just very, very quickly, if there are any women here, or any women who are events professionals, we are organizing an amazing event for Women's International Day. And this is just, and why I shared it with you, this is just an example of content. I run a platform called Female Event Planners. One of the most important events in the year for me is International Women's Day. So of course, I had to do an event and a training where we will show today's top business women and top female activists. And this is going to be a Zoom interactive training, and we will uncover the secrets of it. So have a look. This is what I was talking about, your content aligned strategy. That's it from me. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'm sure me and Vlad would love to.
Thank you, Pauline. That was a great presentation and a very good example of how to actually use call to action after you provide some value at the end. We actually do have a question I have here in my DM. Actually, it's what tools do you use to mention ROI, so return on investment? And I guess it's a good question because given the nature of the content marketing, it's so intangible. It's so as you said, you don't sell all the time. Sometimes it is to build your brand. Sometimes it's provide value and build up the audience. So really the objective of whatever content you're providing can be quite different. So what would be your idea? What it actually says here, tools do you use to mention return on investment?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's exactly what Vlad, what you said, is sometimes you are doing your campaigns just to stay in the minds and in the hearts of the customers, when that is more for branding. So here you couldn't really measure a return of investment really, really strictly. You measure your impressions and you measure your reach, and that's really, really important for you. When it comes to return of investment on marketing, again, there's different tools and different analytics that you would be seeing. For example, on Facebook Ads Manager, you would see exactly the cost per click. You would see exactly how much money you're spending to attract that lead. And there's different ways. It's not just a couple of tools, because every sales funnel is different. And there's different tools and different ways to measure that, okay? And this is exactly why we would need to design those sales funnels according to a very specific business. But again, one thing that I can tell you is that if you have your marketing budget and you're spending it, and you know exactly how much money you spend to attract a customer, and then how much you sell to them, so your cost per acquisition versus the lifetime value of the customer, you could measure against that. But it's not that I'm using any tool in particular. There's a lot of different analytics and a lot of different things that you
and
have.
I guess it depends on what is your indicator of return. As like, you know, it's like, what are you trying to achieve with the specific campaign? Is it, if you're trying to increase the brand awareness, I mean, you would be looking probably at Google Analytics and seeing the traffic to the website, or Facebook Insights and seeing how many new followers you've got, or LinkedIn, how many new connections you have. But if it is something more specific like sales, well, of course, then you're looking at the e-commerce side of things, and you're looking at conversions. And but we also have to remember that the nature of this webinar series is to appeal to smaller businesses. So when we're talking about, let's say, the return on investment, the investment in this case is not even money. Sometimes it's your time as a business owner. So you have to also kind of keep that in mind. So how like, and Pauline was saying about dedicate 1 day a week to actually providing content. So 1 day a week should be more than enough to actually kind of start seeing if you're going in the right direction, and make sure to measure that. But yeah, of course.
Exactly, like Vlad said, don't worry about like being too crazy about measuring return of investment, but do start looking at measuring something.
Yeah.
Knowing.
Set the objectives. Set a clear objectives, not just increase brand awareness. Set the clear objectives of how many users a month do you want to achieve in, let's say, 3 months time. Something like that, something more specific, or how many new followers you want to get.
And KPIs will be different for everybody, because KPIs is the key performance indicator. And in my case, for female event planners, my key performance indicator is actually the number of users that the new number of followers that I get every. I'm in the building awareness and building audience stage. And for someone else, the KPI could be knowing exactly how much money you spend and how many clicks you got from that app. So KPIs is what helps you to measure return of investment, but every single business at different stage would have a different KPI. You set it, you set the objective, and then there's different tools that come in. Yeah.
We have another question, Pauline. It's is it worthwhile sharing podcasts one does on social media? Will people listen in? So,
and by podcast, do you mean like these little videos of 1 minute, like mini?
No, I think what Aisling means is podcasts like they can go for like half an hour sometimes.
Okay. Love podcasts, huge trend right now. And if anybody knows, there is a new social media platform from the USA called Clubhouse. And Clubhouse is an audio platform only, available on iPhone. Someone has to invite you for Clubhouse. It's by invitation only. But what it is, people are creating rooms and they're talking to each other. There's no video, it's just the voice. Now, this is a new social media platform that got loads of investment from the States and became hugely popular right now. So audio is the way forward. But I would say, again, if you're producing a podcast, it has to be niche. exactly what we spoke about. It's a
And it has
content.
to be the correct channel as well. Something like even Spotify is a good channel for podcasts. It's like you don't usually go to Facebook or LinkedIn to listen to the podcasts unless you know your audience really well. You can promote it there, but usually you would be appealing to the people who actually come to the channel to actually listen to the podcasts.
For example, I'm very, very different because I don't use Spotify. I actually watch a lot of videos on YouTube, but I
The
don't
same,
watch
yeah.
it. I
Yeah.
just listen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So YouTube could also be a very good, clear, easy to use platform.
Yeah.
But Google Clubhouse, everybody, because if you're into voice and you really do like to provide ideas and voice, you could meet so many people, do rooms, and people will listen to you instantly on those platforms. Clubhouse.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually specified it will be 10 minutes, so a 10-minute podcast. We have another question is how does Pauline, how do you deal with negative comments if you have any?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I had a lot. And I actually did, Skillnet Ireland, they provide like trainings. And last week I completed a leadership training because I really wanted to know how to deal with negativity in real life, but also on social media. And you're gonna get it. Everybody's gonna get it. So, just keep your mind open that you will get negativity. The best thing is not to respond or at least to delete it. Really don't go into any conversations with them. And Gary Vaynerchuk put it in really, really lovely words that if people have the time to go and be nasty to you and negative and take time, they're sad. Their life is sad. And can I just say very, very quickly that I was doing an event on Twitter, a professional event about diversity, and someone didn't like that I was a white person doing diversity. What they didn't know is I was actually an Irish ambassador of female genital mutilation and working with Black communities a number of years in Ireland with different organizations, but they didn't know that. So they decided to roast me for organizing these events and that I had no, I thought as an immigrant maybe, but but you're gonna get them. No matter if it's in a professional sense on Instagram, on Twitter, you're gonna get them. But what's really, really important is that don't tell people anything, don't interact with them. And if they did something wrong, we have a tendency to tell people, I didn't really like the way you were nasty. What people do usually is they take defense and they protect themselves. You don't need that. Delete.
Yeah, they're just haters. That's the term for people like that.
But that's the thing, Vlad, because sometimes it's not the haters. Sometimes it's just people from your industry actually being nasty or not liking you or commenting something on your LinkedIn. They don't agree with you. Stay professional. Just say, okay, well, I value your opinion. I don't agree with it. Professional, not going into discussions with anybody. Experience.
Thank you. We have another question is about actually the Clubhouse, which you have mentioned earlier. Is can Clubhouse generate income like YouTube?
Not now, but it definitely will. And this is exactly the same with TikTok as well. You already have influencers landing campaigns on TikTok and being paid for it. And obviously, it's a new platform. So right now they're building the audience. As I said, it's only for people who have an iPhone. So they're facing a lot of diversity issues here. But they will. I have no doubt that there will be opportunities for branding. And I know a few people already. Maybe you cannot make money from Clubhouse like on YouTube. The way if they watch your videos, you actually get paid from the platform. But you could get paid in doing an event, a branded event, and actually get money from a brand. So think about that. That's also another way of doing it. Yeah.
That's great. That's a great advice. Another question we have is, how do you make your videos? Do you hire or outsource videographers? And is it phone only?
Good. This is really, really good. Okay, so for anybody who wants to make their own video, the first thing you do is buy yourself this sort of light. This is a social media light. This is a small one because I have a huge one in front of me. That's why you can see the good light on my face. This is the first thing you're buying to yourself. And then just very, very quickly, you buy yourself a phone holder. So you don't put your phone against a wall. You buy yourself a holder like that, okay? So these are the two on Amazon, 20 euro, 25 euro, the phone holder and the light if you want to produce your own videos. And then you download an app. It could be PicMonkey. This is really, really good. Canva is really good. Just PicMonkey, I think it's 150 euro per year. This is the first step to make your content. A good iPhone or Android phone, the light and the holder, and maybe the mic, okay? Because sometimes the mics are important.
Yeah, microphones, yeah.
As you grow, you buy yourself a better camera. And with influencers, what I've noticed, and I worked with one influencer who was a parenting influencer, so there was two of them. They had really, really good equipment. The camera one was recording, but they hired a guy to edit.
Mm-hmm.
And with editing, stuff for social media is actually different than editing your traditional video. So a person has to know about that, because when you're editing a 15-second ad or a content for Instagram stories, that's a totally different feel than when you're editing a 1 hour long video. But there's so many things on YouTube that you could watch about and content and blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
So if you are a business and you are a physical business, you can hire someone professional to come in once a month and do a lot of content with you. You can do that. And in fact, I did that as well in the presentation you saw. I worked with Kevin from Waterford, actually, because I was recording a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
Usually a light,
You're breaking up here.
a light, the whole, do you? And the,
oh,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Wi-Fi here is not very good tonight, so apologies.
That's okay,
as I
Pauline.
said, you know, invest in some equipment. It's not going to cost you a lot of money if you can, and if you have a physical business, if they can come in once a month and help you record, absolutely. But as you do more and more, you're going to learn about it, and that's actually that will actually become your skill. So
yeah, so
and don't forget about the apps. PicMonkey. You don't have to do Adobe. You don't have to be a Final Cut Pro. Just the apps are really, really good to start with. Yeah.
Is it just for editing, or is it for just for recording and just putting everything together?
It's for editing, but even if I recorded a quick video on my phone, let's say, and I wanted to add a frame to it and a few words, that's also what I do in PicMonkey.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. That's a good little tip. Do we have any more questions? We're approaching the cutoff point, I see. So if there are no more questions, I guess we can end the event for tonight. And I would like to thank all of you for coming. And Pauline, that was a fantastic presentation. And also just want to mention that, yes, indeed, if any of you are looking for a content marketing strategy, RIKON are providing such a service as well. And anyway, we will have our next event in March. But for tonight, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Pauline. Great job at presenting. And have a nice night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you so much, and best of luck to everybody. Stay safe, coronavirus, you know, and reach out to RIKON. They're great, and yeah, God bless and stay safe. Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone.